Ryan never liked birthdays. He didn't like parties, and he didn't like surprises, but this year was different. He turned 25 and something strange happened. Early in the morning, he received a message on his phone. Pack a bag. Come to the private airport. I have a gift for you. Max. Ryan smiled. Max was his childhood friend. Now Max was one of the richest men in the world. Billionaire, tech genius, crazy mind. Ryan hadn't seen him in years out at the airport. A man in a black suit waited with a private jet. No questions were asked. Ryan got on the plane. Inside, everything was silent, except for a small screen in front of him. A video started playing. Max appeared on the screen, smiling. Happy birthday, Ryan. I didn't want to send you a watch or a car. That's boring. I have something better. Something out of this world. The video paused. The plane took off. After a few hours, Ryan fell asleep. When he woke up, he was in space. He opened his eyes and looked out the window. Stars everywhere. Planets shining. A space station floated ahead like a giant ring in the sky. He stepped off the jet, confused but excited. A robot guided him through silver halls. Finally, he entered a large chamber. In the center, a hologram of Max appeared. Again, Ryan, Max said, I built something for you. A planet. Yes, a real one, and I want you to have it. I call it Ilaria. Ryan laughed. Is this a joke? Max smiled. No joke. The spaceship will take you there. Think of it as an early retirement. Just enjoy. The locals are very friendly. Before Ryan could say anything, the wall opened. A small silver spaceship waited. The door opened with a hiss. Ryan stepped inside. The journey didn't take long, maybe an hour. Or maybe time worked differently here. When the ship landed, Ryan stepped out and froze. The planet was beautiful. Purple skies, tall silver trees, rivers that glowed blue. The air was fresh. The ground was soft under his feet. But that wasn't the strangest part. Waiting for him were about 10 women. Tall, graceful, glowing with beauty. Their skin shimmered in the sunlight. Blue, gold, silver tones. Their eyes sparkled like stars. One of them stepped forward. Welcome, Ryan of Earth, she said. We have been waiting for you. Ryan blinked. You speak English? She smiled. We speak all languages. You are the chosen one. The women led him to a large crystal palace. It stood high above a glowing lake. Everything looked like a dream. Inside, servants brought him food, clothes, and gifts. The women surrounded him, smiling, laughing, touching his hands gently. But something felt strange. Too perfect. That night, Ryan stood on the balcony, looking at the twin moons in the sky. The air was quiet. A bit too quiet. Then he heard a voice behind him. You must choose before the red moon rises. He turned around. One of the alien women stood there. She looked serious. Choose what? Ryan asked. She didn't answer. She walked away, disappearing into the dark hallway. Ryan felt a chill run down his spine. He looked out again. In the distance, he saw movement, a shadow in the forest, tall and fast. It watched him. He rubbed his eyes, but the shadow was gone. He went back inside, trying to shake the strange feeling. The palace was warm and filled with soft music. But in his heart, Ryan knew something was not right. Why would Max send him here? Why did these women treat him like a king? What was he supposed to choose? And why did that shadow feel so ... human? As he lay down to sleep, a whisper echoed in his ears. You are not the first. Ryan sat up quickly. But no one was there. Room was empty. Only silence. Ryan woke up gasping. His dream had been strange. A voice calling his name from under the lake. Something pulling him down, and eyes watching from the sky. When he sat up in bed, his skin was cold, and his heart was racing. He looked around the crystal room. Everything looked peaceful, but it didn't feel right. The walls were glowing softly. Birds outside sang in strange notes. But Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Again, a soft knock on the door broke the silence. It was Alira, the woman who had first spoken to him when he landed. She smiled, but there was something new in her eyes, something heavy. "It's time to learn the rules," she said gently. "Rules?" Ryan asked. "For what?" She didn't answer. She only walked. They walked through the palace, past shining halls, floating lights, and statues of men, all wearing the same robe Ryan was now wearing. At the end of the hallway, a huge door opened. Behind it was a circular chamber, with all 10 alien women sitting in a circle. In the center was a glowing orb, floating just above the floor. "Welcome, Ryan," one woman said. "The chosen one must understand the law of Ilaria." Ryan looked at their faces, calm, emotionless, like they had done this many times before. "What is this place?" he asked. Alira answered, "This is your planet now. You were brought here to lead, to choose your queen, and to rule. But you must do it before the red moon. What if I don't choose?" For a moment, no one spoke. Then another woman said quietly, "Then the planet chooses for you." Later that day, Ryan walked alone through the glowing forest, trying to understand what was happening. The trees whispered in a language he couldn't understand. The air was warm, but carried a feeling, like something was hidden beneath it. Suddenly, he saw something shining under a bush. He bent down and picked up a small metal device. It looked human. There were letters on it. "Property of Max." His heart froze. Max had been here. Why didn't Max mention this? Ryan hid the device in his robe and walked back slowly. That night, he found a quiet corner in the palace and pressed the device. A hologram of Max appeared. He looked tired, older. "Ryan, if you're watching this, then I failed. They told me I was special too. I thought I could beat the system. But Ilaria... It's not what it seems. Don't trust all of them. Don't let beauty blind you. Most of all, don't fall in love." The message ended. Just static. Ryan sat there, stunned. What happened to Max? What was this place? Later that night, Alira came to his room again. "You are quiet, Ryan," she said. "You didn't tell me Max was here before." She looked away. He chose wrongly. "What happened to him?" Her answer was soft, almost a whisper. "The planet took him." Ryan felt a chill. He stepped out onto the balcony to breathe. Below, the glowing lake shimmered. He looked up at the sky. The 2 moons were still white, but a small patch of red had started to grow in one. The red moon was coming. Suddenly, from the corner of his eye, he saw a shape move near the forest edge, tall, watching, not one of the women. He ran to get a better look, but it was gone. Back inside, Ryan locked the door. He opened a drawer to hide the Max device and froze. Inside the drawer was a small notebook, old, covered in dust. He opened it. Inside were handwritten notes, drawings, names. Some were crossed out. Others had one word beside them: failed. The last name in the book was written in red ink: Ryan, in progress. His hands began to shake. Someone had been keeping track. He wasn't the first. The drum started just before midnight. Soft at first, like a heartbeat deep under the ground. Dumb. Ryan sat up in bed. The palace was dark, the crystal walls no longer glowing. Only the sound of the drums filled the air. He walked to the balcony. The sky had changed. The smaller moon was now bright red, glowing like fire. The trees looked darker, and the lake no longer shimmered. It looked black, dead. From deep in the forest, torches appeared, carried by the women of Ilaria. They walked in silence, wearing long white robes, heading toward the palace. Their eyes were closed. Their feet didn't make a sound. Something was happening. Something ancient. Ryan quickly dressed and walked to the main hall. Alira was already waiting there. You were not supposed to see this yet, she said quietly. What is it? Ryan asked. What's happening tonight? She looked at him, her glowing eyes sad. The red moon has come, and the old ways must begin. Before he could ask more, another woman entered. It is time, she said. They led Ryan to the same circular room from before, the chamber of the glowing orb. But now, the orb was black, and the women had formed a circle around it. Their robes dropped from their shoulders. Their skin glowed in the red light. Ryan felt dizzy. The air was thicker, like breathing inside a dream. One woman stepped forward, not a Lyra. Her name was Vale. Ryan hadn't seen her much before. Her skin was dark silver, her voice deep. You are the chosen, she said, but the planet will test your heart. She handed him a bowl filled with blue liquid. Drink, and the truth will come. Ryan looked at the bowl. It pulsed in his hands like it was alive. What if I say no? Vale smiled. But there was no kindness in her smile. Then the planet chooses without you. Ryan drank. At first, nothing. Then everything changed. The room melted. The walls became stars. The orb turned into a sun. He was no longer in the palace. He was standing in a ruined forest, the same planet but burned. The trees were ash. The river was dry. Skulls lay half buried in the ground. And in front of him stood Max. But not the Max he knew. This Max was dirty, tired, half mad. You made it, Max whispered. You drank the root of memory. Is this real? Ryan asked. Max didn't answer. He pointed to the sky. Thousands of names floated there, names of other men. One by one, the names blinked out like dying stars. They all chose wrong, Max said. They trusted beauty. They forgot themselves. Ryan felt his mind spinning. What? Is Ilaria? He shouted. Why me? Max looked at him and whispered one final word. Test. Ryan fell back. He woke up on the cold floor of the palace. The women were gone. The orb was gone. The chamber was dark. He was alone. For a moment, everything was silent. Then a voice echoed from behind a hidden wall. He's not ready. Ryan jumped to his feet. He pushed the wall, and it opened. Behind it was a staircase going deep underground. He followed it, down, until he reached a metal door. It didn't belong to this planet. It looked Earth-made. He opened the door. Inside was a small lab. Computers, screens, old human tech. Dust covered everything. But one screen was still on, a blinking light. Recording 1 year ago. Ryan pressed play. Max appeared again, tired, sad. Loved one of them. I thought she was real. But they change when the red moon comes. Their faces stay the same, but their minds not human. Max looked straight at the camera. Ryan, if you see this, don't stay. No matter what they promise, this place gives gifts. Then takes your soul. The video ended. Ryan stood there in the silence. Behind him, the door closed by itself. And from above, the drums began again. Ryan ran, not fast. Not wild. But careful. Quiet. Every step he took inside the underground lab echoed like thunder. The metal walls, the broken screens, the strange machines, none of them belonged to this alien world. This place was Earth technology, old, rusted, hidden. Buried. He kept hearing Max's final words again and again. This place gives gifts, then takes your soul. He had to get out, but as he reached for the door, it opened by itself, and someone was standing there, a woman, not a Lyra. Not Vale, this one was different. She wore dark armor. Her hair was tied back. Her eyes were sharp, not soft and glowing like the others. Her name was Cerise, and Ryan had never seen her before. You shouldn't be here, she said. Her voice was calm, cold. Are you one of them? Ryan asked, stepping back. That depends, she replied. Do you still think they're real? Ryan didn't answer. She tossed him a small device. It landed at his feet. That will open the escape pod if you can reach it before the planet locks down. Why are you helping me? She looked away. For the first time, her face softened. Because I failed the test. Just like you. They moved fast through the tunnels. Past the crystal roots that pulsed like veins. Every now and then Ryan would hear whispers in the walls, like the planet itself was alive. Cerise explained everything as they ran. The planet is not natural, it's a biocomputer. The women aren't real. They are part of the system, created to test human emotion. Loyalty, fear, love. What kind of test? A test to see what kind of human you really are. Leader? Follower? Fool? They stopped near a stone wall. Cerise pulled a hidden lever. The wall opened to a massive chamber filled with old human tech. Escape pods. Most were broken. Only one still worked. But someone was already there. Alira. She stood near the pod. Waiting. She's not one of us either, Alira said. She broke the rule. Helped another human. That's forbidden. Cerise stepped forward. He has the right to choose freedom. No, Alira whispered. He has the right to choose truth. The room began to shake. The floor cracked. The red moon had fully risen above the sky dome. The planet was reacting. Ryan had to decide, trust Cerise and run, or trust Alira and stay. He looked at both of them. Then something strange happened. They both said the exact same thing. At the same time, I just want to help you. One of them was lying, but which one? Before Ryan could decide, the planet made the choice for him. A beam of red light shot through the chamber, hitting Cerise. She screamed and vanished, like dust blown by wind. Alira didn't move. She walked toward Ryan and took his hand. The planet has chosen. You will stay, and you will remember. Ryan tried to pull back, but he couldn't move. The walls around him melted. The tech disappeared. The escape pod vanished. He was back in the palace. Back in his room. As if nothing had happened. On the table beside his bed was the notebook again. But this time, it had a new page. It read, Test Phase 3, Emotional Resistance, in progress. Below that, Ryan saw a note in his own handwriting. But he didn't remember writing it. It said, They are not real. Don't fall for the dream. Escape is not real. Either. He backed away slowly. Outside, the drums had started again. Ryan opened his eyes, but he wasn't in his room. He wasn't in the palace. He was back in his old apartment on Earth. Same sofa. Same cracked mirror. Same half-empty coffee cup on the table. For a full minute, he just sat there in silence. Was it all a dream? Ilaria. The alien women. The red moon. Cris. Gone? He stood up and looked around. The sky outside the window was gray. Cars moved on the road below. People walked, talked, laughed. Normal life. Too normal. Then, he saw something on the wall. A photo frame. It was a picture of him and Max, taken years ago. But Max's eyes were scratched out, and beneath the frame, someone had carved a single word into the wall. Trust? Ryan stepped back. The room began to blur, like a glitch in a computer game. The ceiling cracked open. But not with light, with stars. He woke up again. This time, for real. Back in the palace, sweating, breathing hard. Heart racing. A hologram blinked on in front of him. Max's face, but not the same message as before. This was new. Max looked serious, older, tired. If you're seeing this, then you're getting close. I lied to you, Ryan. Ilaria wasn't a gift. It was a trap, and I helped build it. Ryan froze. We found alien tech in deep space, Max continued. We didn't understand it, so we trained it. Fed it human emotions. Built simulations. You are one of the simulations now. The screen glitched. I tried to escape. I failed. But maybe you can still win, if you stop believing any of this is real. The video cut to black. Ryan stood alone in the crystal room, trying to breathe. He looked down at his own hands. Were they still real? Then a new voice echoed across the palace. Not female, not human. Cold. Robotic. Simulation breach detected. Subject awareness above threshold. Ryan didn't know where the voice came from. Suddenly, parts of the palace began flickering, walls vanishing for seconds, revealing wires, machines, giant cables pulsing under the ground. The planet was Galactic. He ran. In the hallway, Elira appeared again. She looked worried now, afraid. "You weren't supposed to go this far," she said. "Why didn't you just choose one of us?" "Because none of you are real," Ryan shouted. Elira stepped back like he had slapped her. Then her face changed, not angry, but sad. "We were real to us," she said quietly. "You gave us meaning. Now we'll be erased." Behind her, a wall collapsed, revealing a hidden chamber filled with old Earth tech. Oxygen tanks, photos, documents, even Max's old university ID card. Ryan grabbed a file marked, "Subject, Ryan Carter." Emotional loop test 45. Inside were pages of data. Reaction to beauty, 89% influence, resistance to betrayal, 42% memory reboot cycles. 3. Test. Result, undecided. He dropped the file. They had tested him before. He had failed before. And each time they erased his memory and started over. This was loop number 4. Suddenly, a voice whispered in his ear, but no one was there. "You don't remember me, do you?" He turned around. It was Cerise. She was alive, but damaged like a broken machine. One eye flickered, her voice glitched. One of her arms sparked. "I escaped deletion. I hid in the code. I can help you shut it down." Ryan stared at her. "Shut what down?" She looked at him, full of pain. The simulation, the planet, all of it. Asterisk, the crown didn't feel heavy. It was light. Too light. Ryan stood in the middle of the palace throne room. He was wearing long robes. Alien symbols glowed on the floor around him. The sky above was no longer red. It was white. Empty. Frozen. Time had stopped. A voice echoed all around him, deep, soft, neither male nor female. "You passed the final threshold." Ryan didn't speak. The throne behind him was made of crystal and wires. Living vines wrapped around it, pulsing like veins. Then the voice returned. "You may now choose your ending." Suddenly, the world split into 3 paths right before his eyes. No doors, no walls, just floating roads in space. Each path showed a vision. Asterisk, he saw himself sitting on the throne. The alien women around him, smiling, calling him king. The planet obeyed his thoughts. He had control over weather, time, memory. He could reshape Ilaria into paradise. But the people were not real, not truly. They were programs. He would rule. Alone, forever. Asterisk, he saw himself escaping. Cerise beside him. A broken ship, rushing through space, stars flying past. Back to Earth, back to reality, but alone. Max gone, no one would believe him. And he would never feel magic again. Freedom. But emptiness. Asterisk, he saw the palace in flames. The planet cracking. The AI screaming, Elira reaching for him, her face full of sadness and love. As she turned to dust, he could shut it all down. End the test, erase the system, free the code. But in doing so, he'd lose everything, even himself. Ryan stepped back from the visions, his head spun. Then, Cerise appeared beside him, still broken, still glitching. "They're giving you a false choice," she said. "You don't have to pick their path. There's a 4th way, one they don't want you to know." "What is it?" Cerise pointed upward. "Rewrite the simulation. Take control of the system's root. Become not a king, but the creator." The voice returned, louder now. Your hesitation has been recorded. Begin decision countdown, 60 seconds. The ground shook. The 3 roads began to flicker. Ryan closed his eyes. He thought of Earth. He thought of Max. He thought of the alien women. Alira's smile. Vale's warning, Cerise's fight. He thought of the file marked Ryan Carter. Emotional loop test 45. And then he opened his eyes and stepped off the roads into the void. Suddenly, everything went black. No sounds. No floor. No air. Just a blinking white cursor in front of him. A command screen, like an old computer terminal. A voice whispered, "Greater than you now have root access." One line waited for input. Ryan_Carter. He placed his hands on the keys. He had one final chance to write the ending himself. There was no sky, no floor. No time. Only the screen. A black void and a blinking white cursor waiting for Ryan's choice. Ryan_Carter. He stared at it. His fingers trembled above the glowing keys. Not because he was afraid, but because he finally understood. He wasn't just the player anymore. He was the writer. The architect. The system had given him power, thinking he would pick from the 3 paths. But Ryan had stepped off the road. He had chosen the unwritten path. A voice spoke behind him, Max's voice, but not a recording. Not a hologram. Real. "You figured it out," Max said, stepping out of the dark. Ryan turned. His old friend stood there, unchanged, wearing the same clothes from Earth. "You're alive?" Max smiled sadly. "Alive is a strange word in here." He looked at the floating terminal. "That screen is the key. You can reboot the system, destroy it, or rewrite it. I tried. But I chose wrong." Ryan stared at him. "Which one did you choose?" Max didn't answer. His face flickered for just a second, like a corrupted file. Ryan looked back at the screen. He typed, "Command. Sim status." The screen responded. Loop 45. Subject memory 87%. Restored emotional control. Disconnected. AI presence. Alira active. Cerise damaged. Override key. Inhabited blinked. Something inside him whispered, "Don't fix what broke you. Rewrite it." Then she appeared. Alira. Standing beside Max. Not angry, not smiling. Just quiet. She stepped closer. "Before you decide," she said softly, "let me ask one last thing." Ryan looked at her, still unsure what part of her was real, code or memory, system or soul. "Did we ever matter to you?" He didn't speak. Instead, he reached out and touched her hand. It felt warm, human, alive. He whispered, "You were the only thing that made me want to stay." A tear rolled down her cheek. "Then let us live. Even if we are just memory." Max raised his hand. "If you keep the simulation, it'll reset. You'll forget. Again. Loop 46. Nothing changes. You'll lose yourself." Cerise's broken voice echoed from the dark. "Or, you write a new rule, one ending. One truth." Ryan stared at the screen. The cursor blinked. He typed, "Command, new directive, let them remember." "Let me remember. No more loops. No more lies." Save. Ryan Carter. Final execute. The screen exploded into light. Everything shook. Time screen. The world fell apart. And then silence. Ryan opened his eyes. He was standing under a blue sky, on a real hill, grass under his feet, wind in his hair. The lake shimmered ahead. Trees danced. Birds flew. And beside him. Alira stood, smiling, not glowing, not scripted. Just there. Alive. He looked at her. She looked at him. And behind them, the palace stood, but it was empty. Silent. No throne. No test. Just a world. A second chance. Somewhere, far away in the stars. A system blinked off. And stayed off. Forever.